The procedures and principles governing the general revision of assessment and the classification of property. It aims to ensure that property assessment are accurate, equitable, and reflective of the current market conditions. The emphasis is placed on transparency in the assessment process, the importance of regular updates to property classifications, and the methodologies used to evaluate property values. By establishing clear guidelines, this section seeks to enhance the overall effectiveness of property administration and to promote fair treatment of property owners within the jurisdiction. Good day everyone, I am Hanijin and today we will be discussing the Section 1 General Revision of Assessment in a Property Classification. The provincial, city, or the municipal assessor shall undertake a general revision of a property assessment once every 3 years, so which shall commence upon the enactment of the schedule of fair market values into an ordinance by the sanggunian concerned. So which means that the provincial, city, and the municipal assessor is required to conduct a general revision of a real property assessment every 3 years. So this process begins after the local legislative council or the sanggunian passes an ordinance enacting the schedule of fair market values or the SFMV. For this purpose, the provincial assessor, the city assessor, and the municipal assessor of the metropolitan Manila area shall prepare the schedule of the fair market values for the different kinds of classes of real property within the territorial jurisdiction of the province, city, or the municipality in accordance with this manual. So which means that the provincial, city, or the municipal assessor in the metropolitan Manila area is responsible for preparing the schedule of fair market values for different types of real property within the respective jurisdictions. So this must be done in accordance with the guidelines set forth in the relevant manual. In the case of the Metro Manila area, the assessor of each assessment district shall meet, discuss, and harmonize the respective schedules of fair market values. So in Metro Manila, the assessors from each assessment district must meet and coordinate to align the respective schedules of fair market values. So this ensures consistency in property valuation across different districts within the area. However, if there is no sufficient time or resources to complete the general revision work for all real property units within the territorial jurisdiction of a particular local government unit, a partial revision may be undertaken by kind or class of real property. So if a local government unit does not have enough time or resources to complete a general revision of all real property units in its jurisdiction, it may be conduct a partial revision. So this means that the revision can focus on a specific types or classes of real property instead of covering all properties at once. For example, by kinds, in the first year, all lands are included, while in the second year, all other real properties are accounted for. By class, in the first year, the focus is all commercial and industrial properties, whereas in the second year, it encompasses all other classes of properties. And now, let's proceed to the purposes of the general revision of the real property assessment. A general revision of real property assessment serves two important purposes in addition to its primary purpose of equalizing and updating valuation as follows. So first is that the real properties that have been lost from the tax roll are rediscovered. So this means that the real properties which were previously not included or mistakenly removed from the tax record or lost from the tax rolls are identified and added back to ensure they are properly taxed. So second, it enables the assessor to purge the rules of double assessment of properties that have been accumulated through the years. So it has the same purpose as the periodic physical inventory conducted by a business establishment. So the general revision of assessment allows the assessor to identify and remove duplicate assessments of properties that may have built up over time. So similar to how a business conducts regular physical inventories to ensure accurate records, so this process that property tax rolls reflects only the correct single assessment for each property, promoting accuracy and fairness in a property taxation. So a general revision of real property assessment shall be considered completed after a field of work in the municipality province or city have been completed and corresponding field appraisal and assessment sheets of all properties have been prepared and approved, and the data recorded in the assessment. So this allows the assessor to remove any duplicate property assessments that have been built up over time, similar to how businesses conduct regular physical inventories to correct errors in the records. So the goal is to maintain accurate and up-to-date property tax record. So what is appraisal or the assessment calendar? So for the purpose of the general revision of real property assessments, the appraisal and the assessments process and its components shall be governed by the calendar herein prescribed as follows. So as you can see the table, it states the activity, who are the responsible LGUs or the officials, and the period. So for the first is that acceptance of sworn statements declaring the true values of real property to be filed by real property owners or administrators. So the LGU official or the responsible here are the provincial and the city assessor and municipal assessor of the municipalities within the Metro Manila area. So the period is January 1 to June 30 of the first year. So next activity is the analysis of data that have been gathered and preparation of the preliminary schedule of fair market values. So the responsible here is the provincial and the city assessor and the municipal assessor of municipalities within the Metro Manila area. Period for July 1 to September 30 of the first year. Next activity is the preparation of the final schedules of fair market values. So the responsible here are the provincial and the city assessor and the municipal assessor of municipalities within the Metro Manila. So period here not later than October 15 of the first year. Next activity is the submission of the schedule of fair market values to the sanggunian concerned and conduct of public hearings. So the responsible here are the provincial and the city assessors and the municipal assessors of municipalities within the Metropolitan Manila area. So period not later than October 30 of the first year. So next activity is enactment of ordinance adopting the schedules of fair market values. So the responsible here are the Sangguniang Panlalawigan or Panglungsod or Sangguniang Bayan concerned. So period not later than January 31 of the second year. Next activity is the publication of the schedules in a newspapers of general circulation in the locality or posting in the provincial capital, city or municipal hall and into other conspicuous public places. So the responsible here are the provincial and the city assessor and municipal assessors of municipalities within the Metro Manila area. So period not later than February 28 of the second year. So next activity is the preparation of field appraisal and assessment sheets, tax declarations and notices of assessment, and mailing or delivering of said notices to property owners. So the responsible here are the provincial and the city assessor and municipal assessors of municipalities within Metro Manila area. So period not later than September 31 of the second year. So next activity is the preparation of assessment rules and the copies thereof sent to provincial, city, and municipal treasurers. So the responsible here are the provincial and the city assessors and municipal assessors of municipalities within the Metro Manila area. And period not later than November 30 of the second year. The last activity is the effectivity of the revised real property assessment. So the responsible here are the provincial, city, or the municipal assessors. So period is not later than January 1st of the third year. So the appraisal or the assessment calendar sets the schedule for conducting the general revision of real property assessments. So it outlines specific activities, the local government units, officials responsible for each task, and the time period during which each activity must be completed. So this is to ensure that the entire appraisal and assessment process is organized and follows a structured timeline for efficiency and accuracy. So the appraisal or the assessment calendar is important because it ensures the timely and organized execution of the property appraisal and assessment process, helping local government units maintain accurate tax records and meet legal deadlines. And that was the end of my discussion. I hope you learned something and thank you for listening.